What's up, guys? My name's Austin, and you're watching Econometrics with Austin. Alright, so first things first, let's get into today's market news. The Dow fell by another 913 points today, losing 4.5% of its value. This makes this week the worst week since the financial crisis in 2008. Dow futures are currently up 297 points. We'll see what this means. I mean, who knows? They were down last night, and most of today we were up until the very end. So we'll see where they go. Who knows with this market? Honestly, you can't tell what's going to happen. So we'll see. I say tomorrow, meaning Monday. We'll see what happens Monday. Another news: Congress goes to work this weekend as they try and pass round 3 of the stimulus package by Monday. That's their schedule. They want to get it done by Monday. We'll see if it happens, Who knows if it does. Hopefully it does, though, because we really need it. The economy needs it. And I think it'll be a big boost to stock prices. And I don't know if it'll be a big boost to the economy right now, but it'll definitely help people out that are being negatively affected by the coronavirus. And some really big news today. There were 4 senators that were called out for insider trading. Now, this is a big accusation that, if true, carries prison time. This is what Martha Stewart went to jail for. So Richard Burr, Kelly LaFleur, Dianne Feinstein, and Jim Inhofe are all being accused of insider trading after they sold several $1 million in stock after an intelligence committee meeting. So Burr, top left corner, sold off between $628,000 to $1.7 million worth of stock after he went on TV telling everybody that the coronavirus wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that big of a deal is what he told us, the American people, and then he sold off pretty much his whole portfolio of stock. And his defense to this is that he watches CNBC Asia, and that's why he sold off his entire portfolio. It's because he watches CNBC Asia and saw what was going on over there, so he sold all of his stock. I watch CNBC all day, pretty much every day, especially now since school's out. I don't think I'd ever sell my entire portfolio because of that, especially not with the timing and the connections that he has. So Kelly LaFleur, bottom left, is one of the newest senators, a freshman senator, and she sold between $1.3 million and $3.1 million in stock, and then bought stock in a telenetworking company called Citrix. And she did this on the same day as the Senate Health Committee held an all-members meeting about the coronavirus on January 24th. Now, if you look at Citrix stock on the 24th of January, they had just hit a high. Let's back it out. Yeah, they had just hit an all-time high whenever she bought into this company. And they're a telenetworking company, which is what we're really using now since everybody's working from home. And of course, their stock did go down like everybody else, and there was this huge spike to where from where she bought into there, it was only a $2 gain in the end of it. She still owns these as far as we know. But as you can see, whenever this news came out today, they suffered a huge drop, while all the other telenetworking companies have continued seeing big spikes like this one here, as more and more people start working from home and using these type of services. And her defense is that her portfolio is managed by a third party and that she didn't know about the sale until 2 weeks after that the sale had happened, and she didn't know about it. And she's very, very wealthy, obviously. She has lots of money. But it's hard for me to believe, and this might just be because I'm a commoner and I don't have that type of money, but it's hard for me to believe that you wouldn't know when $3.1 million of your own money was transacted, either through a third party, or if you did it yourself, obviously you would know. But, I don't know how she has her account set up. I'm sure it probably is managed by a third party with as much money as she has. But from a liability perspective of that company, I was in law school for years, so I know very minimal, but I know a little bit. From a liability perspective, which I'm sure there's stuff you sign off and anyways, there's a lot of stuff, loopholes, whatnot. But from a liability perspective, I would think that in order for a company to sell $3.1 million of your personal assets, there would have to be some type of communication. Like a thumbs up saying, they're coming to her and saying, hey, we're about to do this, and her just saying, yeah, go ahead. Or post-transaction communication, just saying, hey, we did this today. Something that would tell somebody, hey, we just sold $3.1 million of your assets, so don't go and do something to where you think you might need this, or don't do something thinking you have this because you don't. So, me personally, I check the market every single day, multiple times all day. I'm always looking at it, seeing if there's any good buys, and just watching what it does. And I would have noticed it. I would have, if I saw $3.1 million move from one place to another, or from multiple places to one, or however it happened, it was through 24 transactions. I would have noticed it. But for her to know that this pandemic is coming, and to have a pretty good idea of what is going to happen, since she's on the board of the health committee, it's very hard for me to believe that during that 2-week time frame between when the stocks were sold and she was informed that they were sold, it's hard for me to believe that she or her husband didn't look into the account. Just one, from 2-week period, as we go into this volatile period, it's hard for me to believe that they didn't look at it a single time. And oh, by the way, should we mention this? Her husband is chair of the New York Stock Exchange. And to me, if you want to ask me what it sounds like double insider trading. Because he is head of the New York Stock Exchange, and she comes out of this big meeting about the coronavirus, and then they dump $3 million worth of stock. To me, that is extremely fishy. But that's what the ethics committee is for, and they'll be looking into it. So, Jim Einhoff, he sold up to $750,000 worth of stock in what he describes as a continuing divestiture plan. And then Feinstein, the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, sold several $million worth of stock as well. We're not sure the exact number on hers. And her excuse was that her husband did it, and she didn't have control over what he does. Is that believable? Her husband might have done it. She might not have control of what he does. But the thing is, what did she say to influence that? That's the real question. So what do you guys think? Was it just a coincidence that they happened to sell off millions of dollars worth of stock after being briefed on the coronavirus in separate ways? Or was there malicious intent to profit off their insider knowledge? Let me know in the comments below if you think that they should be held accountable. And also, do you think senators should be allowed to own single stock? Or should they only be allowed to own indexes? Let me know in the comments below again. Now I think, if I remember, I'll put a poll up in the top right hand corner. But anyways, I digress. So the other day, I think it was on Wednesday, I came out with the top 10 stocks to buy this week. And I wanted to make a follow-up video to show you guys that I am putting my money where my mouth is. I'm not just simply telling you guys, hey, go buy this. This is what I think is good. I'm actually buying what I can of it, of course. I can't go out and spend huge sums of money buying all this stock, but I'm putting into it what I feel comfortable putting in. So yesterday and today I bought Delta, Dow, Ford, and Carnival, and Halliburton. As you can see here, Halliburton, HAL, is the only stock that did well today. Most of them were up for most of the day, but ended up, how the end of the day just wasn't good, ended up down. But Halliburton did pretty good for me today. It's up 5%. And these other stocks, Bayer, I worked for Bayer for a year and did a, put part of your paycheck for 15% off stock top plan. That was horrible because whenever I did that, the stock was like at the peak, and I got in at like $27 is where my average was, and that's in a different account. But I can see the price today is $13.15. So like literally half what I got that for is the price now. So I bought in more here at $14 last week. And of course, it's gone down. Bear's never been a good one for me. Anytime I start to almost get back, something happens. Of course, they were getting close until coronavirus, plus the round of lawsuits and all the other mess. But anyway, also Geo is something that I had in the past, and OXY is something that I've already had before all this. So as you can see, I picked up Carnival today for $12 at close. I hesitated on this one. I was going to buy them yesterday, but decided not to. Yesterday they were up around 10%, and I thought they would open lower today because there just wasn't really any news to justify the increase in price. And, you know, their stock's been absolutely tanking, so I figured it was just kind of a bounce and they would come back down a little. But actually they opened another 10% higher this morning, so I held off until close to pull the trigger. And that hesitation cost me 20%. The stock was up 20% today, and if I wouldn't have hesitated, you know, that would reflect, instead of it being zero gain, it would be a 20% gain, which would be about $200 that I missed out on today from hesitating. You can see this is a Carnival stock here there for the day, the way the price worked out. See this big jump here. And I also bought Delta yesterday. I got into Delta at $21.56, and they were up for most of the day from where I bought them because they were up some yesterday and ended up down. Of course, you can see all this red here at the bottom. Like I said, that big sell-off this afternoon killed most of my profits. I also bought Ford yesterday for $4.38. They were up and down a lot today. At some points, they were up 15%, and then they'd be down 10%. Ended the day down 3%. You see this big spike here. I was making good money here because Delta had that spike, Ford had that spike, Halliburton had it. I was feeling really good right around this time, and then you see the drop. So, anyways, and I also bought Dow yesterday afternoon. Similar to everything else, they were up. Dow actually wasn't up most of the day. They started out up. I bought them yesterday and made a little money yesterday, and then today they pretty much were down the whole day. Got into it around $28.07, and then this afternoon or this midday, I got into Halliburton for $4.80. Similar to Carnival, they were up yesterday, probably 10-15%, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy on an up day, so I hesitated. And like Carnival, they opened up this morning higher than close, but thankfully I kept my limit order open, and the price eventually found its way back down to the price it closed at from the day before. So I ended up getting it at the price I wanted, and I'm pretty happy with that because they were up 5% today. And, you know, made a quick $52. Of course, you got to cash out, which I'm not going to do. I'm not cashing any of this stuff out until coronavirus is done with for a couple months and we see how the economy is looking. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me for today. Next week's going to be a little different. I'm going to Memphis to go shopping for a new apartment, and then I'm going to spend the week with my family on what would usually be my spring break, but since school's all online, it's just a week that I'm not required to be in Fayetteville, pretty much, and everything's closed, so we can't do anything or go anywhere. So it's, you know, just going home to, instead of sitting in my apartment here, I'm going to sit at the house. So it's a weird feeling being in a college town with no students. So I'm a student myself and an employee of the university, so I have to stay in town. So I'll be coming back next Sunday. I'll be coming back up here. Thankfully I don't have to go on campus. But anyways, guys, so next week there'll be a video Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that'll be every other day instead of every day. And I'm about to start recording them now, so there won't be any really market news, sadly. You know, I think next week's going to be a big week for news as Phase 3 stimulus passes. That should happen Monday or Tuesday, so that'll be a big day. Wish I would around my computer so I could get this done. So I'm on a desktop. I'm not gonna pack it up and take it home. That's too much trouble. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel for new videos coming every weekday. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.